Do you feel like you're gradually changing, unable to recognize yourself in the mirror? Could it be that those around you, especially a narcissistic partner, are silently manipulating you, twisting you into a distorted version of yourself? Emotional abuse, particularly from covert narcissists, is an invisible form of violence that ravages the victim's soul from within. It's like a virus infiltrating your operating system, disrupting your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. In this video, we will explore how covert narcissists manipulate and distort your personality, while also discovering the power of Stoic philosophy in protecting yourself, overcoming harm, and reclaiming inner peace. Join us on this journey of self-discovery as we expose the subtle tactics of narcissists and equip ourselves with a solid psychological armor to resist their negative influence. Imagine your self-esteem as a sturdy house. Each criticism, each contemptuous look from a narcissist is like a stone thrown at that house, gradually cracking its walls and eroding the trust you have in yourself. Even as you try to shield yourself, protecting against those poisoned arrows, the wounds persist, especially when the person causing the harm is someone you love and are deeply attached to. Don't rush to deny it or convince yourself that everything is fine. Take the time to listen to yourself and honestly confront your emotions. How do you truly feel about yourself in this relationship? Could it be that you're slowly losing sight of your own worth? Yes, you are responsible for your emotions, but that responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means awareness and action, recognizing when those around you are negatively impacting you and taking steps to protect yourself by distancing from them. Because when you start to see yourself through the distorted lens of a narcissist, that's when the real damage begins to take root, slowly corroding your soul. And do you realize how deeply harmful and far-reaching the effects of a covert narcissist can be on you? Don't look away just yet. The revelations about the destructive impact of covert narcissists ahead might startle you, helping you uncover the invisible wounds you've unknowingly carried for so long. Effects on the brain. The human brain, the most intricate masterpiece gifted by nature, is a machine constantly striving for balance and adaptation to protect us from life's challenges. It's like a mental garden where every part plays a unique role, working together in harmony. When one part is damaged, others immediately adjust to compensate, maintaining the natural balance. However, prolonged emotional abuse from a narcissist is unlike ordinary challenges. It's more like a devastating storm that ravages this garden, leaving behind wounds that are hard to heal and can even alter the very essence of our soul and mind. When faced with emotional abuse, especially from covert narcissists adept at hiding their true nature, our brain is often pushed into overdrive. Instead of primarily relying on the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for reasoning, logic, and sound decision-making, we begin to depend more on the midbrain. The midbrain, which houses our survival instincts, is designed to handle immediate threats or dangerous situations. While this is a natural defense mechanism, prolonged exposure to emotional abuse causes this system to remain hyperactivated. When the midbrain is constantly on red alert, we find ourselves in a state of chronic stress, perpetual anxiety, and a feeling of walking on eggshells. This heightened vigilance not only exhausts us, but also diminishes the effective use of the prefrontal cortex. Consequently, our ability to think clearly, regulate emotions, and make sound decisions becomes impaired. Over time, this doesn't just influence behavior but also alters personality, making us more doubtful, unstable, and losing trust in ourselves and others. Healing the wounds. Healing from emotional abuse requires a reconstruction of both mind and spirit. Begin by creating moments of stillness for reflection, distancing yourself from toxic environments, and practicing deep breathing, a simple yet powerful method to calm the overactive midbrain. Rebuilding the prefrontal cortex can be achieved through mental habits like journaling, meditation, or practicing gratitude. These practices help restore our ability to analyze, evaluate, and make sound decisions. Moreover, Stoic philosophy encourages us to find meaning in suffering. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." View the experience of abuse as an opportunity to better understand yourself, build inner strength, and cultivate patience and composure. Rather than allowing narcissistic behavior to control your emotions and mind, learn to separate yourself from their influence. Epictetus once said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them." We can train inner peace by re-establishing trust in ourselves and refusing to let a narcissist's words or actions define our worth. Have you ever found yourself caught in the destructive spiral of narcissistic abuse? Have you noticed changes within yourself after exposure to a toxic narcissist? Share your story so that together we can understand and heal the invisible wounds inflicted by narcissistic abuse. 1. You may be at risk for narcissistic abuse syndrome. Just like soldiers returning from the battlefield carrying haunting memories, victims of narcissistic abuse endure lingering psychological trauma. Dr. Judith Herman, author of the renowned book Trauma and Recovery, emphasizes that victims of psychological violence, much like those of wartime violence, often experience feelings of helplessness and loss of control over their lives. They are thrust into a mental state filled with confusion, fear, shame, and guilt, emotions that are not confined to specific memories but infiltrate every aspect of their being. Research by Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a leading expert on narcissism and psychological abuse, reveals that people in toxic relationships with narcissists often suffer from severely eroded self-esteem. They become emotionally and even existentially dependent on the narcissist, relying on them to define their self-worth. Gradually, their confidence dissolves, leaving behind a sense of emptiness and self-doubt. Narcissists frequently employ psychological tactics like gaslighting to make you question your own reality. You start believing that the problems in the relationship are your fault, that you are not good enough, or that you are undeserving of love and respect. Although painful and complex, escaping narcissistic abuse syndrome is not impossible. Victims need support through therapy, the companionship of friends and family, and a deeper understanding of themselves. This journey requires patience and courage to recognize that although you have been hurt, your worth is not defined by how others treat you. As Carl Jung once said, "Only by facing the darkness can we find the light." Remember, no one has the right to strip you of your worth, not even a narcissist. The wounds you have endured can become the foundation for strength and growth, should you choose to rebuild yourself. You are the center of the world you create. No one understands, loves, or matches the unique brilliance you possess. Never let anyone dim your light or make you doubt your value. You deserve the best, not because someone else says so, but because your very existence is a miracle. Stay steadfast in who you are. Always prioritize yourself, because if you don't, no one else can build the pinnacle of your life for you. 2. You are being forced to act unconsciously. Have you ever heard the famous story of the scientist Ivan Pavlov and his dog? Pavlov, a brilliant physiologist, discovered a unique psychological phenomenon while studying conditioned reflexes. In his experiment, he observed that every time he rang a bell before feeding the dog gradually associated the sound of the bell with food. Before long, the mere sound of the bell caused the dog to salivate, even when no food was present. This experiment is not just a groundbreaking discovery in psychology, but also reflects a profound truth about human behavior. We too can be conditioned in similar ways, often without realizing it. Imagine if you were constantly around a narcissist, a person who demands attention, control, and manipulates you. You would gradually become trapped in a mental spiral. You would learn to behave in ways that please them, avoiding saying or doing anything that might provoke their anger or disappointment. Over time, your every action and word becomes adjusted to minimize the risk of conflict. Like Pavlov's dog, you become conditioned to react in certain ways, even when those reactions conflict with your true desires and values. For example, you might laugh along when they are angry, just to de-escalate the situation. Or you might remain silent when they insult you, finding it less painful than facing their wrath. Over time, these responses become unconscious habits. and you start losing a clear sense of who you really are. This conditioning doesn't just affect your behavior, it infiltrates your psyche and self-esteem. According to research by Dr. Ramani Vassula, a narcissism expert, people in long-term relationships with narcissists often lose their sense of self. They live in fear, constantly trying to predict and control the narcissist's reactions, leading to exhaustion and disorientation. This is similar to the phenomenon of learned helplessness, a concept discovered by psychologist Martin Seligman. In his experiment, animals placed in situations where they couldn't escape electric shocks, no matter what they tried, eventually gave up entirely, even when later given a chance to escape. Similarly, people conditioned by narcissists often feel powerless, unable to change or leave the relationship, even when they know it's harmful. However, remember that you are not bound to the role of the pleaser or the endurer. You can choose to reframe the situation, recognize that you have the right to set boundaries, and change how you respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and you have the power to revoke this at any moment." Start by facing reality. You cannot change the narcissist's behavior, but you can fully control your response to them. This is the core principle of Stoic philosophy. As Epictetus once said, "We are not disturbed by events, but by our views of them." This means shifting your focus from trying to appease them to taking control of your emotions and actions. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of setting psychological and emotional boundaries. This isn't selfish, it's a way to safeguard your inner peace. Don't let the narcissist dictate your emotions or actions. Repeat to yourself in writing or aloud, "I am only responsible for what is within my control, my thoughts, actions, and emotions." Remember, breaking free from narcissistic conditioning is not just a journey of liberation, but also one of self-discovery and redefinition. Stay steadfast and compassionate with yourself, and never forget that your inner strength is the key to freedom. 3. The journey of recovery and healing after narcissistic abuse. Recovering from narcissistic abuse is not a serene stroll along a rose-lined path. It resembles a challenging mountain climb. It is a journey requiring patience, relentless effort, and most importantly, the belief that every small step forward is meaningful. In the early days of recovery, you may feel an urge to quickly overcome the pain and forget what happened. But as I've come to realize, the more you rush to conquer the peak, the more likely you are to lose your way and exhaust yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "The best things never come from haste." Recovery isn't a race to achieve peace, but a journey of self-discovery and healing the deep wounds within your soul. Trauma doesn't vanish simply because we wish it to. It's like sharp fragments embedded deeply in the mind, impossible to remove with brute force or impatience. They require gentle, careful, and sometimes gradual extraction. If you try to heal in a chaotic and rushed manner, mirroring how you endured the pain, you'll only deepen the wounds. A crucial part of the recovery journey is learning to let go of the negative baggage that has weighed down your mind for so long. Distorted thoughts and beliefs, often instilled by the narcissist, can leave you feeling unworthy or trapped in fear. Take a step back and reassess the beliefs you've carried. Are they truly rooted in truth, or are they toxic fragments implanted through manipulation? Release the beliefs that no longer serve your growth and replace them with healthier, more positive perspectives. This journey isn't just about healing old wounds, it's also about confronting your true self and rebuilding a better version of you. This requires learning to live in the present rather than being dragged backward by the past. As Epictetus said, "Only the present belongs to you. Live it fully. Focus on cultivating new habits, positive relationships, and meaningful activities. Bit by bit, you'll find yourself no longer bound by old scars, but beginning to feel a newfound sense of freedom within your soul." Recovery is a long journey, and there will be times when it feels like you've taken one step forward and 2 steps back. Don't let this discourage you. As Seneca wrote, "Time heals everything. Let time do its work." Be patient with yourself and understand that just as a physical wound takes time to grow new skin, emotional wounds also require time to heal. Treat yourself with compassion. Don't blame or compare yourself to others. Every recovery journey is unique, and every step taken along the way deserves to be celebrated. Narcissistic abuse is no different from a ferocious storm sweeping through your soul, destroying everything in its path and leaving behind a desolate, shattered landscape. After the storm, your mind and body feel like two disconnected fragments, out of sync, unable to understand each other. On one side is your rational mind, yearning for the light, while on the other, your subconscious remains trapped in the shadows of old wounds. Our conscious mind, the home of reason and mature thought, strives to move toward goodness. We want to believe that it's over, that we can start anew and live a peaceful life. Yet the body and subconscious, the keepers of our deepest scars, are not so quick to let go. They reflect painful memories, reminding us of doubt, fear, and even moments when we turn against ourselves. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Let your mind be at peace, and your body will follow." But the truth is, when the body and subconscious remain ensnared in darkness, even the strongest mind cannot single-handedly free us from the invisible chains of the past. Healing is not a shortcut, nor is it a miracle born of positive thinking or mere words. It's a process of reconnecting the mind and body, allowing them to unite so you can live a fuller and freer life. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized, "It is not events themselves that disturb us, but how we interpret them." This is true, but not sufficient. It's not just about changing your perception. It's about helping your body feel the safety and peace your mind is trying to create. This requires time, patience, and gentleness. You cannot simply tell yourself, "I'm safe now," and expect your body to immediately believe it. Your body needs to be convinced, step by step, through real-life experiences, that everything is truly okay. Imagine your body as a fledgling bird learning to fly for the first time. It cannot soar on its first attempt. It needs time, small steps, and the sense of safety in its wings before it can confidently glide across the sky. Stoic philosophy teaches us, bit by bit we build the person we wish to become. Healing is much the same. You cannot force your body to instantly let go of its vigilance or fear, but you can help it gradually feel secure. Small things like a deep, restful sleep, a slow, intentional breath, or even the simple touch of someone you trust are the first steps in teaching your body to believe that you're truly safe. This journey is not easy, but it is the only path to rebuilding yourself. As Seneca once wrote, "Nothing great is achieved without patience." Be patient with yourself, even when you feel like you're taking steps backward or that progress is unbearably slow. Healing is not a race, it is a process. Each day you dedicate to caring for yourself, to learning to release the past and embrace the present, is a day that brings you closer to inner freedom. Imagine the journey of healing your soul after narcissistic abuse as meticulously renovating a house, your inner home. While the foundation of this house, your essence as a person, remains strong and unshaken, inside, the remnants of trauma and years of abuse need to be replaced and rebuilt. Every corner of this house may have been impacted by painful experiences. Picture yourself dismantling old, decayed wiring and outdated wall panels that no longer serve your current life. These negative wires, distorted beliefs and self-worth eroding thoughts you are forced to accept, must be removed. This isn't just a simple task, it's a process that demands courage and determination, as these wires have deeply rooted themselves in your subconscious. Once dismantled, you'll begin replacing these old systems with new wiring, positive beliefs and healthy values that truly reflect who you are. These are the wires that will transmit the energy of confidence, self-love, and hope. Like renovating a house, this requires patience and attention to detail, because all meaningful change takes time. In this inner house, there's one special system you cannot overlook: the survival brain, the part of your brain responsible for vigilance and reacting to danger. Imagine it as the security alarm system in your home. When functioning properly, it's a reliable guardian, helping you identify and respond to real threats. But under the influence of narcissistic abuse, this system becomes overly sensitive, blaring alarms around the clock, even when no real danger exists. This leaves you constantly living in a state of tension, anxiety, and a feeling of walking on eggshells to avoid non-existent threats. This isn't your fault, it's how your body protected itself in an abusive environment. But now, having escaped the toxic relationship, upgrading and recalibrating this system is essential to reclaiming peace. Learning to turn off the alarm when it's unnecessary isn't easy, but it's absolutely achievable. Start with exercises that help your body feel genuine safety, such as deep breathing, meditation, or engaging in activities that relax you. Each time you help your survival brain recognize that things are okay, you're taking steps to reprogram it so that it only activates when truly needed. Renovating your inner home isn't an easy task, but it's the most worthwhile journey you can embark on for yourself. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Every step you take, whether dismantling outdated beliefs, replacing them with positive thoughts, or learning to adjust your survival brain, is part of transforming yourself into a stronger, freer version of you. View this journey not as a burden, but as an opportunity to rebuild yourself from a solid foundation. A new house with safe wiring, bright spaces, and an atmosphere full of healthy energy awaits you. Each step, each small change you make, is a testament to your inner strength and courage. Remember, your inner home is your most important refuge. Devoting time, effort, and love to renovate it is the greatest gift you can give yourself. On this path to healing, confronting your emotions is a critical milestone, the foundation for rebuilding your soul. Emotions are not enemies, they are companions, the voice of your soul reminding you of what you've endured. Allow yourself to feel sadness, anger, fear. Don't try to suppress or hide them. These emotions are part of you, living proof of the strength you showed in facing adversity. Find ways to listen to and understand your emotions. Write in a journal to capture chaotic thoughts. Paint to express feelings that are hard to articulate. Listen to music to comfort your soul. Practice yoga or meditation to soothe tension in your body. Each method you choose is a way to release pent-up frustrations, helping your soul break free from the invisible prisons built by pain and trauma. The important thing isn't how fast you recover, but the commitment you make to yourself in this journey. Once you're strong enough to face the chaos of your emotions, the next step in healing is learning to forgive. Forgiveness is not an act of weakness or excuse, but a liberating decision. Start by forgiving yourself for past mistakes, for decisions made under difficult circumstances. Remember, you did the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had. As Marcus Aurelius said, no one does wrong intentionally. If they knew better, they'd do better. This applies not only to others, but also to yourself. Forgiving those who abused you is a significant challenge, but view it as a gift to yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning their actions. It means freeing yourself from the burden of resentment and pain. By choosing forgiveness, you're choosing freedom, shedding the chains of the past to pave the way for a lighter, more serene future. After releasing the burdens of the past, turn your gaze forward with a heart full of hope. The past doesn't define you. How you live from today onward does. Set new goals, pursue unfinished dreams. These goals, whether big or small, will become powerful motivators pushing you forward. It could be learning a new skill, starting a job you love, or simply dedicating more time to self-care. Whatever it is, let these goals light your path as you build a new life, one filled with freedom, happiness, and meaning. As Stoic philosophy reminds us, we cannot control what happens, but we can control how we respond. Respond to your wounds with determination, self-love, and the desire to live a fulfilling life, because you deserve it. The journey of escaping the shadow of narcissistic abuse and rediscovering yourself is far from easy. It's like navigating through a dense forest filled with traps and obstacles. There will be moments when you feel lost, alone, and tempted to give up. But remember, the light always exists at the end of the path. To make it through this dark forest, you need to equip yourself with the following tools: courage, to face the truth, acknowledge the pain, and accept that you have been a victim of abuse. Perseverance, to stay committed to the healing process even when it feels overwhelming and challenging. Self-love, to forgive your mistakes, cherish your worth, and believe in your ability to recover. And don't forget, you are not alone on this journey. Around you are people willing to reach out and help. Family, friends, those who share similar experiences, and professional therapists. Open your heart, share your story, seek support, and connect with sources of positive energy. Healing from narcissistic abuse is not a destination, but a journey. Every step you take and every challenge you overcome is part of your growth and transformation. Be patient, trust in yourself, and always remember, you deserve a life of freedom, happiness, and meaning. Here are some key reminders to keep close to your heart. It's not your fault. Narcissistic abuse is not your fault. Don't blame yourself or your circumstances. You are not alone. Many others have been through or are going through similar experiences. Seek connection and share with them. You can heal. The healing journey may be tough, but it's not impossible. Trust in your strength and ability to recover. You deserve happiness. Don't let the past steal your joy and peace. Rise above it, rediscover yourself, and build a brighter, better life. Finally, here's a heartfelt message for you. No matter how fierce the storm, the sun will eventually rise. Stay strong, love yourself, and trust in a brighter future.